I've been playing adhoc's new game, Dispatch, which is an episodic adventure game focusing on the life of Robert Robertson III, aka Mecha Man, as he struggles with losing his suit and having to reinvent himself. The game is beautifully made, beautifully drawn, beautifully brought to life, and it's quickly becoming one of my favorite games in this genre. Dispatch feels like a game rich in lore, and there's so much more to explore beyond the game. And what all of these superheroes and villains do in this world, it just helps expand it and give it more life. As you look around, every single hero has their own story and maybe a connection to the main character or a connection to the main overall plot of what's going on. Now, what I love is that the game is only $29.99, but if you get the digital deluxe edition for an extra $10.99, you get an art book with over 100 pages to explore the creation, the designs, and get a little bit more of a backstory on some of the characters. But you also get a 4-issue comic book detailing events that take place in the world of Dispatch before the start of the game. This comic series works as a prequel to the events that you see play out during the game's story, and you get to meet some of the characters in the world and explore their background a little bit more, which I think is a wonderful thing. And I thought it would be a great idea to take a quick look at some of those comics today. So we're going to be looking at issue number 1, titled Splash and the Last Airbender, which is split into 2 stories. The first story begins with a look at Waterboy, who appears to use toilet paper to cover his house to avoid getting things wet. We learn that Waterboy takes care of his grandma, which I'm kind of assuming, as we see him waking her up and helping her use the bathroom, all while navigating dozens of cats in the home. After getting his grandma set up watching TV, Waterboy gets ready and prepares to head out. On his way to work, he helps some ducks by giving them water, and later, while waiting at the bus stop, he gets coffee dropped on him, which makes his bus ride uncomfortable. He eventually arrives at his destination, which is the SDN building, where he will begin a new job as the janitor at the facility. However, while attempting to cross the road, Flambe runs him over. Eventually, Waterboy arrives inside the SDN and meets Mecha Man.
No, just the commercial. It was weird.
Weird. Yeah, right. Phenomenal man. He's like a rock star.
So I like that we were able to get a little bit of an understanding of what Waterboy was doing and who he is when he met Mecha Man. So it kind of linked directly into the story. Now, part 2 of issue 1 follows Sonar and Malevola. We can assume the two are a couple and have been working together for some time at being villains, but they decided to put their time as criminals behind them, and Malevola shows Sonar that she found them a new job which is legal, and it requires them working for the SDN, which take in former villains to help reform them into heroes. Malevola insists on them taking the job the following day, which means they need to have one last bender before their new lives start. They head to Tits, Tails, and Tentacles, which is a strip club in LA. The two drink and enjoy some time with the strippers there, and eventually the duo is approached by some wannabe crypto bros. Sonar and Malevola take advantage of the situation and steal their cash, which they use on the strippers down at the club. Eventually, the two get batshit crazy drunk, head into space for a bit, and come crashing down back to Earth. Both Sonar and Malevola are absolutely hungover and tired, but they drag themselves to the SDF building and begin their new lives the following day. Now, I like this particular story because it gives you a little bit of a background on 2 of the villains that are working for Robert Robertson III at the SDN building. Those 2 characters are going to be an integral part to the main story, I believe, because they are on Robert Robertson's dispatch team. And so this is it for the first issue of the comic. And although not much was learned here that will be super important in the game of Dispatch, at least as far as we know, it still provides a deeper look at some of the characters within the game, and it helps appreciate them a bit more once they appear, because now you have a connection to them, now you know why they are there, now you know a little bit of more background story for them, so you can relate to them a little bit easier, or maybe understand some of their motivations. I also believe that the other issues of the comics may dive deeper into certain topics or reveal things that matter much more. The first issue felt like an intro to the comic, which was simple and fun, and it showed you how it worked. So now we wait and look forward to issue number 2, which is titled Pas de Deux, I believe, and Shell Shock, which will be releasing tomorrow.